Just what the heck do I carry with me all day to stay so successful? Stay tuned and find out. Hello everybody, and welcome back to another episode with Panda Raf and Mr. Tango here, bringing you some massage education. So today, I want to go over what I carry with me on an everyday basis, my everyday carry for mobile massage, and just what that looks like. So if you are getting into mobile massage, or maybe you're practicing right now, you might get something out of this video. You might get some tips and tricks, or just, some ideas for you. Or maybe you're a client and you're wondering, what the heck does Raf carry in that bag? Like I've had several clients pick up my bag to hand it to me, and they're like, this is so heavy. Like, what is in it, right? So let's go over some of it. Let's get into it. So here is my magic bag of things. I am a big fan of the single strap. Just throw it over, throw it over and get going. For some reason, 2 straps is just overwhelming to me. So I don't know if that's the same for you, but I'm a really big fan of this pack in particular because, as you can see, you have the ability to switch sides. So you don't necessarily have to always use one side to hang it on. You can switch it up, which is important for massage therapists because I've noticed a lot of us will carry our table on one side instead of switching back and forth. And of course, this is going to cause, some kind of like structural deviation. So I like this pack. You can get it off of Amazon. It really wasn't too expensive. It kind of looks scholarly in a way, kind of looks professional, has that bit of a professional feel to it. But let's go ahead and get into it. Really, dude? Really? Come on. I think this might be a table day for you, man. You wanna walk around the table? You wanna do that? Yep. Mm-hmm. Can we move on with the video now, Tango? Okay. So let's go ahead and get into it. So main pocket right here. I have a small speaker and this ancient iPod Nano, right? I think this might be the last one in existence, actually. But really, what I'm trying to drive home right here is you want a speaker dedicated to music, and you want a device dedicated to music. I know a lot of people out there rely on Wi-Fi to get their music, but out here in Prescott, you might not always have access to it. I mean, sure, plenty of people have Wi-Fi out here, but it can be kind of spotty. So I just like to streamline that whole process and just have my music ready and not have to rely on any Wi-Fi. Now, obviously, the other thing about this is you do have to rely on power. And this speaker right here does have a battery to it, but it's run out and it doesn't actually work without the cable. So these are things that I have to carry with me. Next thing on the list here, some muscle floss. I like to keep one on me just for maintenance throughout the day. As you know, we do a lot of massages, but at the same time, I like to keep one on me so I can demonstrate it for a client. I'll keep a fresh one on me to just gift them. So as I show them some self-care techniques, they have the ability to then immediately incorporate it into their lives. I'm a really big fan on helping somebody with their issue and then immediately giving them a tool to continue to help themselves with the issue. And muscle floss, I mean, it's small. You can fit right in your pack. It's great, not just for you, but for them as well. And of course, I'm going to carry some Kinesio tape with me. Just some basic K-tape. In fact, I think this is rock tape. In a K-tape container. Oh my goodness gracious, people are going to lose their minds over that. But I always like to keep a fresh roll of K-tape on me. And again, not just for me, but for the client. This is something that I like to incorporate into the end of the session. If there's an area that we were focusing on, it's really easy to overwork that area as a massage therapist, right? Our mindset tells us keep working until it feels as best as possible. And really, you shouldn't do that. You should work until it feels better and then provide extra non-invasive tools that are going to help out with the process. And K-tape, I think, is perfect. You just put it on and they can continue to do what they're going to do. In fact, I just worked with a woman yesterday who we put K-tape on her back, her mid-back. She was having some issues right there. And at first, she didn't feel anything, moved around a little bit and was like, hey, I actually feel kind of robotic. I feel like I've got this extra strength added to it. So Definitely keep that in your pack as well. And that's just the right side of the pack. We've got a few other sections we got to get through here. Of course, I'm a big fan of a lotion bottle, obviously. This is like my bread and butter right here. I have to have a lotion bottle that's filled with gel. We're going to go over that later. I don't like lotion, don't like oil. Well, I kind of like oil. Not a big fan of cream. Gel is the way to go, but we'll talk about that later. Now, you'll notice on my lotion bottle here, my holster is paracord. It's 550 paracord. I really like this. And basically all I've done, you want to get a closer view right there, all I've done is basically wrap the cord around it and then weaved through it. Just a basic weave, and you have yourself a nice holster. I'm a big fan of the paracord over all other materials because I've had this for, I don't know, 14 years, 13 years. And sure, you know, it's seen its better days, but a lot of the younger guys, when they get into the profession, will get kind of like that polyester, nylon, cotton blend. I'm not sure, but it's like it's that very typical material you're going to see on lotion holsters, and they don't seem to last very long. I mean, I've had several. They maybe last me a year, and that's about it. There are people who like to use duct tape holsters, which is really creative, but they don't last long at all. They last maybe a couple of months, and then you got to make another one. This I made once, 12 years ago, and I still use it every day. Every day. Now, I'm also a big fan of having a carabiner watch on my lotion holster. This is so I'm guaranteed to know what time it is at any time during my work. If you're relying on the client to have a clock, then sometimes you might get set up in a room where they don't have a clock in it, right? And then you have to scramble. So I always like to have a timepiece with me. Now, obviously, a lot of the things I've suggested so far, a cell phone can take care of, right? It has a clock on it, it has music, it has a speaker, right? And I'm totally cool with somebody using that. I just like to use that as my backup. I like to have something that's going to serve first, and then I get to use my cell phone, just because my cell phone's so important to me, whether it's taking payments or booking appointments. I don't want to use it for everything. I want to try to take that stress off of it as much as possible. So, lotion bottle, holster, watch. I'm not necessarily a doTERRA fan. I don't like them over anybody else necessarily. I mean, the product works just fine. But I do like to keep a tube of some kind of topical analgesic, whether it's BioFreeze, this Deep Blue Rub, or just anything else you could think of. You might keep a small thing of like Tiger Balm in your pack. Again, this is just another way of including something in your session, possibly even at the end of it, that isn't going to be incredibly invasive, right? Applying a topical analgesic at the end if someone's still having some minor pain is going to be a really smart way of not just managing your time, but not overworking the person either. So I do like to keep this in my pack. And I normally like to keep this kind of like little puck here of CBD cream along with some popsicle sticks to apply it, just so I'm not like reaching into the container to pull it out, with like a contaminated hand or something like that. So I don't always carry CBD cream on me, just because for some reason, it's hard to get sometimes. So, but I do like to include this to work throughout the session, maybe apply it at the end of the session, and then I carry a bag of popsicle sticks with me to help me get it out of the container as well. And I like to keep a little baggie of just some basic aromatherapy. Here at Living Kinetics, we provide peppermint, orange, and lavender. We just keep it really simple. I noticed when we provided a smorgasbord of different aromas, it kind of hindered the session, because then the person was a little overwhelmed with all the choices and they wanted to go through every one of them. And 15 minutes later, they end up picking orange. So I do like to keep aromatherapy with me, but I keep kind of a small amount just to streamline everything. Of course, while it's going to be kept in there, I do like to keep a little drawing pad with me, just in between sessions if I get bored. It's something for me to take my mind off of the day. And now, that's most of the main compartment right there. I have a couple of small pockets at the top of the main compartment here that I fill up as well that I think we should go through. Something as simple as a meso spoon can be great for gua sha therapy. We went over this in one of the previous videos, but I do recommend keeping something just small like this in your pack, just in case you do need to use a tool for your gua sha technique. Nail file. Nail clippers, absolutely essential for the massage therapist. I cannot survive without chapstick. Absolutely cannot. Big fan of Burt's Bees, especially the coconut and pear. A lighter, thumb drive, just transferring information. I think it's good to have those tools just anyways. Extra peg for the massage table. I've stripped so many of these threads in my day. It just made sense to keep an extra one on me so I didn't have to fret about it at the start of a session. Pen. I think it's super important that everybody carries a flashlight on them regardless of their profession. And I really like something like this that has the adjusting piece right here so you can have a very wide range, or you can pinpoint all the light onto something. And I really like how tough it is. You know, it's made with like a nice metal. I feel like I could smash it against something if I need to. I don't know. But I think it's great to have a flashlight. When you're in the dark and you don't know what's going on, I think that's one of the perfect times to have that. Really, really ideal. And of course, what we're going to have here is a Leatherman. Yeah, this is the Wave, the Wave Plus. So I'm all about having a multi-tool on you. Something like this is, again, just like the flashlight, I think just about everybody should have a multi-tool on them. Me, sometimes I have to do some very basic maintenance on my massage table right there as I'm setting it up or as I'm tearing it down. And it's just easy to have a tool on me just to take care of it right then and there. I don't have to pull the table back out after I leave a client's home and then work on it. I can just get it taken care of. And of course, some glasses cleaners, some little cloth here to clean my glasses. There's nothing worse than having dirty glasses throughout your day and you can't do anything about it. So that is the entirety of the main pocket there. So let's go ahead and get into some of the secondary pockets. This front one here, this is where I carry my cell phone at. Just easy access. Let's go ahead and get into some of these other pockets here. So this one's going to have two pockets, a kind of front easy to access pocket, and one we can zip up that gets flapped over. So with this, I'll keep some basic masks in there, just because of everything that's happened. I guess it's kind of good to just have one just in case. They don't take up a whole lot of space. Something like this is very rarely ever used, but it's just one of those kind of stretchy sleeves that you can wear around your neck, put up on your head, get some sun cover. My head burns super easy, even though I'm constantly outside and exercising and doing all sorts of fun stuff. But I just like to keep a sleeve like that just in case I either got to work outside or maybe my truck breaks down and I got to walk somewhere. That's kind of just a basic small head covering for me. In this front pocket, I also have a resistance band. In between sessions, if you want to do a small workout to get some small movement, a small resistance band is fantastic as it doesn't take up a whole lot of space and gives you some resistance. And of course, I keep a T-bar in here as well. Very rarely used because if I know I'm going to like a chair massage event, I'm going to pack this with my chair massage stuff. But there are some times that when I get into a session, somebody wants to stay fully clothed. Of course, I want to respect that. But I might use a tool like this just because it's easier to work through the clothing with it instead of using my own fingertips or knuckles. And I do like to carry a basic folding knife as well. Of course, I have the Leatherman that's going to have a knife on it. But this just seems easier to get to sometimes when I need a knife. I'm a big fan of the cold steel. This is an AK-47. It does have its issues. I do have my complaints with it, but overall, it's just a great everyday carry knife, especially if it's just in the pack right here. Nice and small and very sharp, so it's going to be an effective tool when I need it to be an effective tool. Now that is that pocket. Let's unzip this one. Not a whole lot in this one, actually. So I used to carry a journal in here. again, just throughout my day, if I needed to get my thoughts out, journal a little bit, it was great to be able to pull over and just do that. That's currently not in here, but what I have kept instead is a battery pack, right? So as I mentioned before, my cell phone is super important to me for business. So there really can't be a time where it's just run out of power, right? We can't afford for that to happen. So I'll have a battery pack on me. If I notice I'm going into a session and it's not at the power level that I want it, I'll just plug it in, leave it in the pack. It really doesn't have to even mess with my day at all. Of course, in the car, I'm going to have a car charger, but this is just a really nice backup, really nice peace of mind there. Of course, have the appropriate cable with it. Battery packs don't do you any good unless you have the appropriate cable. Only one more pocket to go here. So this is the side pocket. Now in the side pocket, of course, it's important to keep a card reader for taking payments, right? Of course, your Square reader is kind of your bread and butter when it comes to being on the road and being able to take payments like that. Because if you don't do it that way, then you got to send invoices later or only accept cash or check or something like that. So just streamline it, because card is very popular, obviously. Now under this, I keep a stack of cards. Now, whether those are business cards for my best friend at Free Fire Glass, Mr. Matt Faulkner there. He's so amazing, and he creates some just fantastic products, so I'd recommend you check him out. Of course, I've got cards in here for Dr. Tiffany and Dr. Jerome. We've talked about them. I love them so much. Obviously, my business cards, some gift cards. Really, you're just going to want a pocket set up so you can easily give out this information. It looks bad when you don't have business cards. It looks really bad, like you aren't prepared to take on new business. And gift cards. I like to have gift cards with me because if somebody is in the mood to buy one, then we need to make it as easy as possible. That's kind of like the number one rule in business, right? You need to be able to make the buying process as easy as possible. So I think that actually concludes everything in the pack here. That's what I carry every day. In fact, so I think what we also ought to go over, not just everyday carry with your pack, but what about in your vehicle? Because I can't carry everything in my pack. So let's go over some of the minor things that I carry in the car here to make sure that I'm going to stay nice and successful throughout my day, nice and safe. So I like to carry a crate here. Now the crate is just for all utility stuff, right? Something like this is basically a backup battery. So if I run into a situation where I need to jump, that's my first line of defense, right? I don't have to flag anybody down or anything like that. I can just hit it and go. We like to keep this usually intended for prying up nails. It kind of can act as a crowbar in a way, and I have had to help somebody pry open their door with this before. So I like to keep it with me. We've got basic full tang knife that I like to keep with me as I do a lot of hiking and stuff like that. Sometimes it's just nice to have a backup knife in the car, so it's something that I can process wood with or have a tool with as I'm out and about. Obviously, that isn't something that I'm going to use much in my massage day. Doesn't really come up. So what else we have here is I've got some baby wipes, kind of just throughout my day if I have to stop somewhere to eat. I think it's really nice to obviously be able to wash up, but if that's not an option right away, then I have the baby wipes to help me out. Some paracord I think is really nice to have in case you have to secure anything down. My vehicle is constantly eating headlight bulbs, so I keep extra headlight bulbs in my truck because it would always seem like when it would go out would be when I was leaving a client's house at night, and then you have the option of being pulled over for something like that. It's just going to cause more stress. Obviously, it's a big safety hazard to not have your lights working at night. So I always like to carry extra with me. Always carry hand sanitizer, extra water bottle, fire extinguisher here. This Tupperware that you see isn't to be used necessarily as Tupperware, but this is great for scraping ice off of your windshield. I think it's probably better than any of the commercial ice scrapers that they sell. Something like this just blasts through the windshield. It really does. It just scrapes the ice right off of it. I've had one of these. It's funny because I actually keep one of the longer ones in the truck as well. With a normal scraper. And this thing will take forever. I guess I just keep it with me as like a backup just in case it's really not in the way. I keep some Gorilla Tape with me for minor repairs. My left side view is, well, it's seen better days. So Gorilla Tape sometimes will be just what it needs. I like to keep a small camp shovel with me. Broomstick is really just more for holding up the hood, as it is kind of an older vehicle and doesn't do it itself. And of course we're gonna have some toilet paper, some TP in the bottom right here, and an umbrella. And what I do with this empty space that you see right here, well, that's where my big water bottle goes as I'm driving. So I have a, you know, kind of like this, I think it's a half-gallon or a gallon water bottle. And, you know, it's just really nice to get that out of my way, because when it's in the seat next to me, it's constantly falling over and rolling around, and sometimes it opens up and sprays all around. So I just like to have a spot for it back here to where I don't have to worry about it. I also keep some Febreze and some carpet cleaner in the truck here. Febreze is, I don't really like to use Febreze throughout the day, as it can be an irritant for some people. It really doesn't smell good. It gives them a headache. But if I'm leaving a client's house who smokes a lot inside, all that cigarette smoke is now embedded in my clothes. So normally I actually have an extra change of clothes in the car. As you can see right here, yeah, I actually got my hanger still in here from the last time I had to change. But when that doesn't happen, then I do have to fall back on the Febreze. I'd rather smell like Febreze than cigarette smoke. But even then, it's not preferable, because some people are not happy when that hits them. As you'll see down here, extra case of water. Well, what's left of it. That baggie next to it, to the right of it, I like to keep some like raisins or nuts or something in there, just something that's non-perishable that I can leave hanging around, and it's going to be just fine. I'm not having to worry about it too much. At the end over there, that battery I just have to return, but to the left of that you see a small pack. I like to have a small bug out pack ready, just in case something goes wrong with the vehicle and I'm gonna have to leave it behind. I've got really basic survival stuff in there, you know, some fire starter, an emergency blanket, like small food provisions, a couple of water bottles. So I know that if I got to get moving on foot for some reason, I can grab that and I'll be totally fine. That might be overthinking it a little bit, but I would rather be safe than sorry when it comes to something like that. So that's the main portion of the vehicle. Here's the back right here. Yeah, so that's my new car right there. You're going to start seeing me in that. But the Xterra has served me so well over the years. So in the back here, flashlight, warning light, again, just in case of emergency, something's going on with the vehicle, it's nice to have an extra light with you. This right here is a small tire compressor, so I can inflate my tires on the go. Of course, you can find air at plenty of gas stations, so it's not like super big deal. But again, if I don't have to go somewhere or bother someone with it, if I can just be self-sufficient and do it myself, then it is absolutely the way to go. So right here, we've got our massage table, bolster. Of course, I'm always gonna ride around with a vibration device, just for when I need it in a session. Living Kinetics lanyards. I don't know, I carry a dog leash with me sometimes, just in case, I don't know, I run into a stray dog. I don't know how much it'll help me, but it doesn't take up any space, so I'm not worried about it. And a funnel, of course, very useful when it comes to car maintenance. And I keep some muscle floss in the back here as well, just so I always have some extra in case I got to give it out to some clients. I can replace the one that was in my bag, move on to another deal. Let's go ahead and see what's under the massage table. So yeah, there's a whole other compartment under here that I utilize, and let's just see what I keep there. Now this is a small compartment under the massage table here. I don't know if every vehicle is going to have this. So, you know, obviously use your space wisely, but if I can afford to have a little bit extra in the truck for emergency purposes, I'm going to be all about it. So, what do we got here? Red rag is always good if you are going to be transporting anything and out past the length of your truck. Small solar panel for charging up the cell phone, small towel, some nuts I probably need to replace, some more water, some tow cables, some reflectors, some matches back there, emergency blanket, candle, something to help change my tire, and some other small tools in here. I mean, you pretty much get the point that you just want to be extra safe than sorry at all. So I hope this helps you out. I hope this gives you some insight into my life, and I will see you in the next video.